when you got in the game, you're Vlad, right? But there were established entities out there that were mainstay in hip hop. You had the XXLs, the Sources, Hot 97, just, they're all rushing in there doing stuff online. Obviously, you survived, you weathered the storm, but every year, every day, especially now in COVID, there's so many more people interviewing. How do you feel just about competition overall?
I've never cared about competition. Like, this is not the NBA Finals where there can be one winner. Like this is worldwide to billions of people in hundreds of countries, and everyone is going to build their own audience. Like when Jussie Smollett, faked the whole noose thing, and there's a video of the police showing up to his house and he still has the noose around his neck. There was a bunch of people that to this day still believe him and say that, no, he really got attacked by these MAGA wearing, hat wearing racists, and he's totally innocent. So you're going to find a following, especially on the internet, no matter what you do or how you do it, as long as you keep putting out consistent quality content. Alex Jones with InfoWar, with all the nonsense that he talks, he's got a following.
Yep. So
I've always looked at it as like, I'm not competing against other people. I'm competing against myself. I'm trying to create the best content. If I ever see someone else, I might feel some type of way, like, damn, they got this artist and I couldn't get them. I might be mad at that, but just not mad at them, just mad that I couldn't pull it off through whatever, networking or whatever else I had to do myself. So it doesn't matter. There's going to be competition, and people are now interviewing, celebrities on IG Live, and that's cool, but there's also no money in it. There's literally $0 in that. Instagram was talking about monetizing, Instagram TV, IGTV later on, but at this point, shout out to Fat Joe. He's getting really dope interviews, but he's also not making a penny off them, right? So there's always going to be new things. There's always going to be different platforms. There's always going to be new people to do it. What I do is not so unique that thousands of other people couldn't do the same thing. But what I have done is I have built up, over 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I've got 1 million followers on Facebook. I've got 500,000 on Instagram. I have a website that gets, 1 million people a month to go to it. And I have followers and fans or whatever, viewers or whatever you want to call them, that when I put out something that's good, there's people there that's going to consume it. And that's the only thing that really worries me, not the competition.
Got you. Vlad, how big is your team?
About a dozen people.
Okay, so it's still a small business.
Yeah.
How are you getting these people? Because you get some really great interviewees. You just had the guy who killed Michael Jordan's father.
Yeah.
You've had so many interviews, and I look and I'm like, damn, how big is that team? Is it now that people just want to interview on VladTV, or do you guys still have to work for these interviews?
I mean, it's both, right? Sometimes, like the guy you mentioned, the guy who killed Jordan's father, Daniel Green, that started off with a DM from a guy that knew his sister, right? And then he gave me his sister's phone number. I connected with the sister, and I had to stay on her for a couple months until she finally connected me with him from prison. And then we kind of got the ball rolling after that. So sometimes people approach us because we now have a reputation of being in business for a dozen years. And, if you're into hip hop culture, you've probably seen at least a few VladTV interviews over the years. So people approach us, PR companies approach us, rappers themselves approach us, whether it's a DM or an email or they hit my assistant or whatever else. But best believe every day we're also chasing after people as well.
Still to this day.
Oh yeah. I wish my job was as easy as, okay, who should I book today out of these dozen people that reach out to us? But no, it doesn't work that way. Like we're still out there chasing after people, hitting up, people directly, PR companies, networking. I'm hitting up, other, interviewers. I'll hit them up and say, oh, I saw you interview so-and-so. Can you get me his contact? And if you need anyone from my end, I'll help you out. I'll pass along info as well. And sometimes it's just like, I'll know the person, me and Chuck have been talking, Chuck D from Public Enemy, we've been talking about doing an interview for 10 years now. We did one 10 years ago. And for 10 years, we've been talking about doing another one. And then finally, a few months ago, he's like, okay, now I'm ready. So it's literally a 10-year process of hitting this man up every few months to keep getting a no over and over again until finally get a yes. It ends up being an epic 3-hour interview. So,
wow.
And sometimes it's just like, because look, as an entrepreneur, you never really stop working. So at night, I'm watching Netflix and I'll watch some documentary and I'll say, huh, that's an interesting person. Let me go read, Kente, my assistant. I'm like, yo, hit up so-and-so. And, and I'll be watching whatever, a TV show. Oh, that guy looks interesting. Let's hit him, let's try to hunt, find him. Or sometimes I'll be watching someone else's interview. Oh, okay, yeah. I bet you I could interview him and get a completely different story out of him, with my style of interviewing. So it's those types of things. We definitely monitor our competition.
Mm-hmm.
We have like competitor reviews to see who else is out there. Because at the end of the day, if someone's on a promo run, you'll have a slightly easier time to try to get that, as opposed to if that person isn't like focusing on their album or focusing on a movie.
What's up, guys? Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. Truly appreciate you. If you like anything you heard here today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you know anybody that can benefit from this message, feel free to share. Peace and love.